Oh no, I'm disoriented. Whatever will I... Maybe that isn't a counter after all. If you've been playing any Destiny PvP over the past year, you've most likely noticed a rise in Titan bubble usage, especially in objective-based game modes like Capture Zone Trials of Osiris and the newly introduced Fortress Iron Banner. I'm not here to tell you whether or not this is balanced or fair, that is up for you to decide. Instead, I would rather take an analytical deep dive to try and explain the why of this recent phenomenon and parse through the past year of updates, changes, and meta shifts to understand exactly how we got into this position. So allow me to invite you on a journey where over the next few minutes we will answer the question, why is everyone playing Bubble Titan? The year is 2018, and everyone is enjoying the new competitive playlist with the Forsaken expansion, grinding their way to unlock the Luna's Howl, and, if you're a real big deal, the Not Forgotten hand cannons. Ironic name, huh? In these competitive and, well, actually in all matches, roaming supers reign supreme, with Spectral Blades, Dawn Blade, and Fist of Havoc being the top picks for each class. Supers like Nova Warp, Arc Strider, and Sentinel Shield were also doing pretty well, but supers like Well of Radiance and Word of Dawn, which at the time was actually coupled with Sentinel Shield and activated via a hold of the super button, were not really seen in any capacity. After all, who in their right mind would want to place down one of these when they could activate a roaming one-hit kill button for 20 to 30 seconds. This meta was more or less the same for a very long time, with different supers coming in and out of rotation based on various buffs and nerfs to exotic armor pieces, the accompanying subclasses, and the supers themselves. But a little over a year ago, a monumental change arrived to Destiny 2 that would turn this roaming super sandbox upside down. On December 7th, 2021, in Destiny's weekly This Week at Bungie article, they announced that they would be rebalancing super abilities in a pretty interesting way. They would not go after the durations, damage values, or specific capabilities of each super. Instead, they would modify the time required to earn the super itself. To accomplish this, Bungie created the super tier system with 5 different tiers, with each tier earning its super ability a little bit faster than the previous one, with tier 1 being the slowest and tier 5 the fastest. This tiering system placed most roaming supers like Spectral Blades, Fist of Havoc, and Daybreak in the lower, slower tiers, while placing shutdown supers like Thunder Crash, Nova Bomb, and Blade Barrage in the higher, faster tiers. However, the only super that would live inside the fastest tier, Tier 5, was the Well of Radiance Solar Warlock super, which had a 6-minute and 57-second cooldown at Tier 3 Intellect, having it be available for use around 3 minutes before the roaming supers in Tiers 1 and 2, and a minute and a half before the shutdown supers in Tier 3. In this state, the sandbox was actually quite healthy from a super diversity perspective, with shutdown supers being opted into significantly more often than before, while some players still preferred the looming threat of a long-lasting roaming super. Well of Radiance was enjoying that Tier 5 cooldown time greatly in PvE playlists for the most part, but not seeing much use in PvP due to its more defensive nature. For a few months during the period of the 30th anniversary expansion, the Crucible would live in harmony in what was considered to be one of the healthiest and most enjoyable PvP metas of all time. But with the release of Witch Queen on February 22nd, 2022, that would all change. Witch Queen brought with it many amazing new additions to the game, like the best campaign experience to date, a weapon crafting system, and a whole lot more. It also brought a change to the Void Titan subclass with Void 3.0 by breaking up the Sentinel Shield and Word of Dawn supers into their own separate selections. Along with this change, Bungie placed the Word of Dawn specific super into Tier 5 along with Well of Radiance, decreasing its cooldown significantly from its previous placement at Tier 2 when it was tied to the roaming Sentinel Shield super. At Tier 3 Intellect, this moved the base super cooldown time of Word of Dawn from 9 minutes and 16 seconds to 6 minutes and 57 seconds. And at Tier 10 Intellect, moved the cooldown of the super from 7 minutes and 6 seconds to 5 minutes and 20 seconds. However, despite the incredible new super charge time for the Word of Dawn, it still didn't see all that much playtime in most PvP playlists. That is until the objective-based game modes arrived. Since the inception of Destiny 2, with the exception of the Countdown game mode and Trials of the Nine, every single PvP game type has revolved exclusively around kills in some form or another. You have modes like Clash, which is quite literally based on which team can get more kills in a given time frame, and then other modes that are basically extensions of that same premise with a slight twist. Supremacy is kills where you run over the dead body, Control is kills where you get bonus points based on how many flags you hold, and Survival is, well, it's basically just kills but with a backward scoring system. The closest thing we've ever had to not being exclusively a kill-based game mode was the Trials of Osiris based on the elimination game type, which, yes, is just 2-minute rounds of which team can kill the other first for the most part. But if you reach that 2-minute marker and neither team has been wasted, then you are forced to fight over a capture zone in the middle of the map that will grant the round win to whichever team captures it. This game type is fundamentally different from any other game type in Destiny for this reason, as forcing teams to fight over one distinct objective creates a path to victory that doesn't rely exclusively on kills. Now, sure, kills can help you capture this objective for a round win. However, if your team is in possession of tools and resources that don't necessarily kill the enemy team, but simply prevent them from interfering with the capturing of the zone, well, you still win. Eventually, Bungie decided to really lean into this objective-based game mode idea by creating Capture Zone Trials, a mode identical to regular elimination Trials of Osiris, but with the capture flag spawning instantly rather than after 2 minutes and becoming capturable 30 seconds into the round. This game mode heavily incentivized objective-based gameplay compared to the more traditional kill-based gameplay due to the simple fact that ignoring the objective in this mode in any capacity essentially resulted in an instant round loss. It was in this game type that players opted for loadouts that were more tuned for playing around and capturing this single objective point. Amongst these loadouts was, of course, the Ward of Dawn. As the months have gone by, we have seen more iterations of single-point objective game modes, most notably in the recent addition to the Iron Banner playlist, Fortress, where I imagine you have been seeing many Titan bubbles. But you might be thinking that this shouldn't be much of a problem, right? After all, a Titan bubble and everyone inside of it can be instantly wiped off the face of the earth with Nova Bomb, Blade Barrage, Thunder Crash, and plenty of other super abilities. While you are indeed very correct in that thought, the issue in that lies of course in the discussion of super cooldown tiers we previously had in this video. The simple matter of the fact is that when that bubble Titan is ready to pop, you and your shutdown super teammates are still only 3/4 through your super bar. And the problem with that is that a shutdown super is quite literally the only way to stop a bubble Titan on an objective point, if they know what they're doing at least. Heavy ammo doesn't work, suppression grenades don't work, not even the Hunter smoke bomb works, which I know is hard to believe considering how great it is at disorienting the Titan inside. Now, you might think, okay, well what if all 6 of us just run in and punch the Titan? And yeah, that could work, assuming the Titan doesn't know that they can also put their barricade up so that you drop down to 1 HP on entry. So, aside from making a massive mistake like exiting the bubble, blowing themselves up, or walking away from their computer to go outside, there is quite literally no way to reliably defeat a Titan bubble, with the 2 exceptions being baiting them into your own barricade to drop them to 1 HP, or by shoulder charging them out of their own bubble to kill them. But those require you to also be on a Titan, which means, well, yeah, you're probably using Ward of Dawn too. And that, my friend, is why you've been seeing Titan bubbles so much as of late. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed your viewing experience today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.